Yeah, hello everyone. Is my voice audible, guys? Yeah. So in today's session, we are going to start with React.js. This is my third React.js free batch. It's a free React.js batch, and this is the batch number 3. So in this batch, we are going to learn about React.js, guys. We are going to learn about React.js. We are going to learn how we can develop a front-end application with React. So in this batch, we are going to learn how to develop a front-end application with React.js. So once you attend all the sessions, then you should be capable of building front-end application with React.js. Now to attend this batch, you should have certain prerequisite, and those prerequisite are you should be aware of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You should be aware of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if you know about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then you can attend this batch. You will understand the concepts of this particular sessions. So if you are not aware of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then it will be little difficult for you to understand React.js. Okay. So in the first session itself, I am clearing that this is the prerequisite. So this you should be aware of. Now here, we are not going to waste much time. Directly, we will start with React. We will learn all the concepts of React. So let's start our discussion with what is React.js? What is React.js? So this is the first question we have to understand exactly what is React.js. So basically, React.js is a JavaScript library. So React.js is a JavaScript. It is a JavaScript library. So React.js is not a framework. It is a JavaScript library. It is a library. So what is this library? Library is nothing but it is a JavaScript file which contains some set of predefined functions, object, and classes. What is library? Library is nothing but one simple JavaScript file. One simple JavaScript file, and this file contains some objects, some predefined objects, some predefined functions, some predefined classes. So any file which contains predefined object, functions, and classes, such file is called library. Such file is called library. So this file is called library, which contains object, functions, and classes. So indirectly, we can say that React.js is nothing but it is a collection of predefined object, functions, and classes. Technically, we can say that React.js is a JavaScript file which contains predefined objects, functions, and classes. So all these object functions and classes are developed using a language called JavaScript. So in simple words, if you want to know exactly what is React.js, then this is the definition. What is React.js? So in short, we can say that React.js is a JavaScript library. Now, what is the use of this library? What is the use of this object, functions, and classes? What we can do? That is what we have to know. So we have to know the purpose of React.js. Purpose of React.js. So what we can do with React.js? Once we learn React.js, what we can do? So using React.js, we can create user interface. It is used to build or create. It is used to build or create user interface. User interface. What we can do with React? With React, we can create user interface. User interface is nothing but collection of UI components. Collection of UI components. User interface is nothing but collection of UI components. So what is UI component now? What is the meaning of UI component? UI component is nothing but whatever we see on the screen. Everything is UI component. For example, if I visit here, this GitHub website, or maybe I will just go with simple website, that is facebook.com. I am visiting Facebook application. Now here, whatever you are seeing on the screen, this entire thing is called user interface. But in that user interface, this specific text box where we can enter email address or phone number. This specific text box where we can enter email address or phone number is called UI component. This is called UI component. In the same way, in the same website, we have here one button. We have this button called create new account. This button is also called UI component. This button is also called UI component. In the same way, here we have something called link. This link is also called UI component. This link is also called UI component. So here, this text box where we can enter email address or phone number is a UI component. This button is a UI component, and this link is also UI component. And collection of this UI component. Collection of this UI component is called user interface. It is called user interface. So at the end with React, at the end with this React, we are going to create this kind of UI components. Or collection of UI component is called user interface. Now this is the official definition given by React.js people. So if I go to React.js website, or let me just go to old website, there clearly they have mentioned. So what is React? React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Clearly they have mentioned this point. Clearly they have mentioned this point. React.js is a user interface. It is all about building user interface. This is not from any other website. It is from the official website. React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. But in this batch, with React, we are going to create front-end application. If you remember, in starting, I told with React, we are going to learn how to develop front-end application. But here I am using the term user interface. So the question is, can we create a front-end application with React? Creating user interface is equal to creating front-end application. So my question is, creating user interface is equal to creating front-end application? So creating user interface is equals to creating front-end application? Answer is no. Answer is no. So creating UI is not equals to creating front-end application. But with React, we can create only user interface. With React, we can create only user interface. We can create only user interface. Now, if creating user interface is not equals to front-end application, then with React, how we can create a front-end application? With React, how we can create a front-end application? That is the question. So with React, we can create user interface. With React, then how to create a front-end application? Because creating user interface is not equals to front-end application. So for this, we have to understand one point. The point is with React or with only React.js or React, we cannot create front-end application. With only React.js, we cannot create front-end application. Cannot create front-end application. This is very important point that we have to understand. With only React.js, we cannot create front-end application. Why? Because if you want to create a front-end application, if you want to create a front-end application, then you have to develop user interface. You have to create user interface. You have to design user interface. You have to implement API integration. You have to implement API integration. You have to implement validations. You have to implement routing. You have to implement data management. Like this, so many things we have to do. If you are able to create all these things, then only front-end application can create. If we are able to develop all these things, then only we can create front-end application. But with React, we can create only user interface. We cannot create all these things. We cannot manage all these things with React.js. With React, we can manage only how to create user interface. We cannot manage all these things. That is the reason with only React.js, we cannot create front-end application. Then how people are creating front-end application with React? For that, what people are doing with React.js, they are using some other libraries. How React is a library? In the same way, they are using some other libraries to implement these features. They are using libraries like Babel. They are using libraries like Tailwind CSS. They are using library like Axios. They are using library like React Forms. They are using library like React Router. They are using library like Redux, etc., etc. They are using so many libraries with React to develop a front-end application. So with React, if you use Babel, Tailwind CSS, Axios, React Forms, React Router, Redux, like this, if you use lot of libraries, then you will be able to create a front-end application. You will be able to create a front-end application. With React, if you are combining this many libraries, then you will be able to create front-end application. But only with React, we cannot create front-end application. Why? If you want to design user interface, we use Tailwind CSS. If you want to do API integration, we use Axios. If you want to do validations, we use React Forms. If you want to do Routing, we use React Router. If you want to implement data management, we use Redux. Like this, different libraries we use for different purposes. So here we have to be very clear that with React, we can only create front-end app, we can create only user interface. If you want to create front-end application with React, then you have to combine or you have to integrate other libraries with React to create front-end application. With React, we can create only user interface. But if you want to create a front-end application with React, then you have to combine other libraries. You have to combine other libraries. So in our batch, we are going to learn all these libraries as well, because our ultimate goal is to develop front-end application. So if you want to learn how to develop front-end application, then you have to use React, plus you have to use some other libraries. Now the question is, why we have to use React? Why we have to use React? There are multiple reasons. The first reason is, if you use React, it is easy to create UI. It is easy to create UI with React. It is very, very easy to create UI with React when you compare to HTML and JavaScript. Second benefit with React is we can create dynamic UI. We can create static and dynamic UI. Both types of UIs we can create. We can create static also, we can create dynamic also. Apart from this, we can reuse the UI. It means you can develop UI only a single time and you can reuse it multiple times. No need to write same code multiple times to create same UI. Write the code only once to create certain UI. And if you want to reuse that UI, you can reuse it. If you want same UI at other part of your application, just reuse the code. No need to rewrite the same code. So that reusability you will get with React. Next, the very important thing is we are going to get rid of DOM manipulation. It means no need of writing complex code to implement DOM manipulation. Now, if you are aware about JavaScript, then you know if you want to create dynamic UI, we have to do DOM manipulation. We have to write lot of DOM manipulation code. If you are using React, you will be freed from that writing of DOM manipulation code. Or in short, I can say no need of writing DOM manipulation code. No need of writing DOM manipulation code. Because DOM manipulation will be taken care by React. That is the biggest advantage we are going to get when we use React. Because managing DOM and writing the code in DOM is very, 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 very difficult. If you remember, I have taken a workshop on e-commerce application building. I have taken one workshop on e-commerce application. And that e-commerce application we have created using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And in that workshops, we have seen how much JavaScript code we have written to manage our dynamic user interface. To create dynamic user interface, how much DOM manipulation we have done. That part we have seen in that. So in case if you did not attend these sessions, what I will do here, I have created one file video.txt and here I will update one link, e-commerce application. That video links I will update here. So there are around 4 videos. You can watch those 4 videos and you can learn how we can create a basic e-commerce application using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That link I will update here. So if you use React, you will be rid of writing the DOM manipulation code. And one more advantage is the performance of your application will be taken care by React. So performance of application will be taken care by React. So till certain extent, the application performance will be taken care by React. You need not to worry about much about performance of your application. So React will take care of making your application very fast while accessing it. Explicitly, you need not to write lot of code for improving the performance. A minimal amount of code we have to write to work or to manage the performance. Most of the things will be taken care by React. So why we use React? If you use React, then it is very easy to create UI. You can create static and dynamic UI. We can reuse the UI. You will be rid of writing DOM manipulation code. No need of writing DOM manipulation code. Performance of your application, most of the things are going to be taken care by React. In the same way, React will help us to scale our application. It is easy to scale your application. Scaling your application is nothing but enhancing your application. So for example, let's assume that in version 1, you have created or you have developed 5 features. Then after 6 months, you want to release version 2 by adding more 3 features. So easily you can add new features in your existing application. So increasing or enhancing your application is easy when it comes to React. That is one more advantage we are going to get when we go for React. So these are the reasons why we are selecting React for creating front-end application with the help of some other libraries. These are the reasons why we are using React to create front-end application with the help of some other libraries. Got it, guys? Anyone have any doubts up to here? So if you have any doubts, you guys can unmute yourself and you can ask. Anyone have any doubts up to here?
No, sir.
Okay. So what we have learned till now, let's try to revise a little bit. So we started our discussion with what is React. So we understood that React is a JavaScript library. Then I explained what is library. Then we discussed what is the purpose of React. So why we are learning React? So we are learning React to create user interface. So what is the meaning of user interface? I have explained. What is the meaning of UI components? I explained. Then we discussed that our goal is to develop front-end application. But we came to know that with React, we can only create user interface. We can only create user interface. Then how we can develop front-end application with React? Or why can't we develop front-end application with React? So we have discussed those things. Now to create front-end application, this many things we have to implement. But with React, we can only create user interface. We cannot implement all these things. So to implement all these things, we have to take the help of some other libraries. So in this way, with React and by using other libraries, we will be able to create front-end application. Now, why we are using React and this many libraries to create front-end application? Now, these are the reasons why we are using React and other libraries to create front-end application. This is what we have discussed. Okay. So now, before creating a front-end application, we have to learn all these things. Step by step, we have to learn all these things. First, we need to learn how to create UI. Then we have to learn how to design UI. Then we have to learn how to implement API integration. Then we have to learn how to implement validations. We have to learn how to implement routing. We have to learn how to implement data management. Now, if you know all these things, then easily you can create front-end application. So now step by step, all these things we have to learn. So first, we are going to learn how to create user interface. This is our first step. How to create user interface. Now to create user interface, we are going to use React library. So we will use React library to create user interface. Now in React, if you want to create user interface, in React, if you want to create user interface, then there are two ways. There are two ways to create user interface. There are two ways to create user interface. And what are those two ways? The first way is using React element concept, and second way is using JSX concept. There are two ways to create user interface in React. What are those two ways? Using React element concept and using JSX element concept. In real time, we don't use React element way. In real time, we don't use React element way. We use only JSX element way. So when you start working in real time, you will never use React element directly. Always you will use second approach. Now, first approach you should know. Though we don't use this in the real time, but you should know how to create UI with React element, especially for interview purpose. So when you are working in, when you attend for any interviews, they might ask you the questions on React element. If you understand how to create UI with React element, what are the problems we are going to face while creating UI with React element, then only you will understand why we are going with second approach. What is the use of second approach? So now what I have done, already I have one video in which I have explained how to create React element, how to create user interface with React element. So that video link I have added here. If you see here, there is a topic called React element, and here I have added that link. So what I want, before you come to tomorrow's session, watch this video and come. So like this, so many prerequisite videos I am going to give you. That might be based on CSS, it can be based on HTML, it can be based on JavaScript. Because if I give like this some videos for you to learn and some concepts, if I cover in the live session, then only I can finish this course little bit fast. If I try to teach everything in the live sessions, then our course will go for 3 to 4 months. So we don't want to spend 3 to 4 months. We want to spend more time, and so that we can finish our course little bit in more faster way, in less days. So we want to spend more time, but in less days. So how it is possible? It is possible with the help of live session plus some recorded sessions. So every day I'm going to take live session at 7:30 to 8:30, and some videos I will give you. So if you watch those videos, if you attend live sessions, then our course will finish very fast. So I want everybody to go through this video and come in tomorrow's session so that I can directly start with this second way. So if you don't watch first video, if you don't watch this video, and if you come to session, then 100% you won't understand the second approach. So it is mandatory for you to go through this video. Here I have added one more video. Why React.js? Little bit in more depth I have explained why we are using React to create user interface. Why React.js? To create user interface, but not HTML and JavaScript. So why we are not using HTML and JavaScript to create user interface? Why we are using React? That thing, that concept I have explained here. So I just want you guys to go through this one. Okay. Guys, just give me a minute. Yeah, guys. Okay. So what I want you guys to watch this video for React element and this video to understand why we are using React to create UI, but not HTML and JavaScript. Little bit in more depth, I have explained this part. So here, if you see directly, I have mentioned the points. But in this video, I have explained with an example. I have taken example with HTML and JavaScript. Then I have explained what are the drawbacks with HTML, what are the drawbacks with JavaScript, and why we are going towards React to create UI. That part I have explained here. So you can watch this video also, and you can watch this video also. This both the videos, if you watch and come to tomorrow's session, then it will be very easy for you to understand tomorrow's session. And from where you will find all this is the link. Anyways, in the WhatsApp group, I will add this link from where you can access it. But still, I will add here. So this is the GitHub link. If you click on this link or if you paste this link in your browser, you will directly land on this page. Now here you will have session 1, Introduction to React.js. If you double click, you will find that file video.txt. If you double click, you will find here that video links. React element, why React.js. So anyways, in our WhatsApp group, I have given one WhatsApp group, right? Dedicated specially for this batch. You try to join that group, guys. Why means if I want to provide any updates, directly I will provide in the group. So you guys will be come with the updates. Like if there is any cancellation in the session, or if I want to share any notes or any links or any documents, directly I will share in the group. So it will be easy for me to manage the things. If there is any change in the link, then I will provide you the link. I will ask you to register. So like this, we can share things with you guys. That is the reason I have created that WhatsApp group only specially for this particular batch. Okay. So I think today we have Dasra, right? Happy Dasra to everyone. And I think though we have the festival, you guys have taken the time and you have joined it. It shows that how much interested you are to learn the things. And today is very good day. That is the reason I wanted to start today only, so that our batch will be little bit successful. So that superstitious I have. So that is the reason today I have started. So today I will stop the session here, guys. Okay. So remaining things we will discuss in tomorrow's session. So today was little bit short session, but from tomorrow we will have proper 1 hour session, 1 hour or 1.5 hour. Depending upon our topic, we will extend it to 1 hour or 1.5 hour. If you have any kind of doubts, I hope everybody has my WhatsApp number. Feel free to WhatsApp me, guys. Okay, try to WhatsApp me. Don't call me because I don't lift that calls. So if you want to inform me anything or if you want to ask anything, feel free to message me directly. So I will add this paint file in this GitHub repository, and that repository link I will add in the WhatsApp group. So in case if you did not join that WhatsApp group, you try to join. Okay. So every day our session will be at 7:30 p.m. guys, to 8:30 or 9 p.m. Notes I will provide you in the group. Recorded video of today's session also I will provide you in the group. And from tomorrow we are going to write the code. That class code also I will provide in the group. Yeah, so that's all guys from my end. If you have any doubts, feel free to let me know. In case if you don't have any doubts, yeah, you guys can drop and let's join tomorrow at same time with same link.